Hello, hello. Hey, guys. Welcome back. All right, this is going to be a singles storyline. I know it's late on Friday night, but that is the time that we had, and I didn't want to miss a chance to get a singles storyline out. So, my. And as far as like the universe is concerned, it's time to not be single anymore. We got the Four of Wands. It's time to start thinking about relationships, thinking about harmony, thinking about building, thinking about being in connections where, two people can put both of their energies toward the same thing. All right. That's a great way for a single storyline to begin because it talks about serious consideration for relationships. We have a Six of Wands. Six of Wands energy is going to be success. It's the energy of like choosing a direction and going for it. This is someone who's either in their divine masculine or divine feminine energy. So they would be an emperor and an empress who gets to ride in a chariot. So it's interesting that this card kind of is like a menagerie of three, at least in my mind, the way I always read this, because we have a Six of Wands, which is about success. We have a chariot, which would normally be Cancerian energy and driving things forward with confidence. And then we have either the emperor or empress riding it. In this card, it happens to be an emperor. So we've got forward action. Maybe we have a divine masculine as our lead character who's like feeling serious about life now, feeling like I've made my way in this world. I've figured out who I am. I figured out what I want. I figured out where I want to go. And I'm ready for long-term commitment and serious commitment. Hi, seashells. So great to see you, love. Sorry, guys. I was just out in the little stormy weather I got going on right now. And it's a little cold. Sorry if I'm snoopily. We have the Hermit. So this is a divine masculine who definitely has been single. They could be a Virgo. And I think he's been pretty detached for quite a while. This is that sojourners, the lonely sojourners trip that they take until they find like inner knowledge and peace and the information that they needed to discover within themselves. And he's done it. He's at the edge of the bluff now, overlooking the sea. He's followed his North Star exactly where he needed to. And now he's like hemorrhaging this beautiful, golden light. This is a very confident, very secure, very well rounded individual who knows exactly what they want. Okay, so we know that you want partnership. Do you know who it is that you want? Nine of Sacred Circles says this is still a single individual. Hi, guys. AC, Sweet Carolina. So delighted to see you, love. He's either looking at a feminine who's very self-possessed, or he himself is like, hey, I'm in a place where I could literally see my see myself with anyone. By the way, in some video earlier today, I realized I only had one earring on, and I don't know if anybody else noticed it. I didn't know it till I was done, and I was like, are you kidding me? And I still don't remember what video it was, but these are nice and lightweight, so I don't notice. I have clip-ons. I don't have pierced ears, so it might pop off again. I don't know. That one probably needs one of those rubber stoppers. Sorry to talk about earrings, but maybe that's part of this. Maybe like the other shoe drops. Maybe something is like, I was hearing like drop the beat. I don't know what this is going to be about just yet, but he is either looking at a feminine that he thinks is much like himself. And truly, she would be someone who probably has gone through her own dark night of the soul, has found her inner star. You notice that she wears an amulet with a star on it. She holds a rattle with a star on it, and she has a drum skin with a star on it. So we know she's probably found her North Star as well and is living her authentic life. If this is the kind of person he wants to be with, someone that he realizes it's like, wow, she's really whole. I'm just like that. I'm really whole also. She's serious about her life. She doesn't play games with people. She doesn't want to play games because that would cost her her precious time. She's abundant. She's good enough, single, totally solo, doesn't have a need for anyone. But if she's going to bring someone into her life, it would be because they complement her life. So I could see it that that's who he's interested in. That's the person he'd like to have a relationship with because that's exactly kind of where he's at. Look, when characters are really whole, they're not looking for a partner because they're like, I need them to help me. I need them to do this for me. They're looking for partnership because they're like, I got everything I need and I want someone to share it with. I want someone that I can, bounce ideas off of, and together we can come up with new ideas. I want somebody to, make me think a little outside of what I already can do on my own. I want new, fresh things that lift me and challenge me, because sure, my universe is pretty well organized, but that's why I want some extra spice in my world. I could see him really being ready for a partnership and knowing he wants somebody a lot like himself. So does he already know her? Is this a single storyline where we just simply are going to have this streamlined, like we've got this divine masculine who's just ready to start dating and he knows exactly who he's about to walk up to? We have the Star. We have the Seven of Pentacles. That's starting to look like he knows exactly who his wish come true would be. And it keeps looking like it's this feminine. Again, it's been a long time. He maybe has kept an eye on her, perhaps, for a long time. The Seven of Pentacles talks about passage of time. She could be at a distance from him. She could be somebody who is like, maybe he sees her online. Maybe she comes across as somebody who's, quite visible in whatever she does. She could be famous in her own right. And fame doesn't have to be like, a household name, but she could be someone that he's able to, or has been able to, kind of observe for quite some time. And she's been consistently rising from what I can tell. We have the Justice card upright. Is she a Libra? Is she an Aquarius? Or is there something that he's noticed? We got Ace of Cups. It's weird because I'm feeling like this is somebody who he has known of for some time. And he's also seen her get a raw deal in life. And he's also seen her recuperate and recover and continue to glow and continue to rise. He's seen her become more expressive in love and self-love. I do feel like he's recognized that in spite of whatever she could have let crush her, she chose not to let that happen. She definitely had something rotten that happened to her, but she decided to practice self-love and get herself over it. Can I just see, I don't really want to linger on that too much, but what was it that happened that was so unjust? Seven of Wands is in the reverse. This could be something along the lines of, sometimes we talk about the judicial system. We have like bars, we have, this can be legalities. This could be somebody that did her dirty, didn't get held accountable for it at all. But instead of her letting it make her miserable and angry, she decided to be kinder. It doesn't have to be that it was the legal system or somebody, that robbed her, or somebody that, she had to go to court against, and, they didn't have to pay any retributions or anything. It doesn't have to be that, but there's definitely something where she had obstacles put in front of her and somebody else didn't. This could be anything. It doesn't matter what genders we're talking about, but this hermit person obviously witnessed her having things stacked against her and having open doors for other people. And he noticed it. And he obviously saw that she was strong enough to go ahead and not let that become so irksome that, she just like surrenders and gives up or something. That speaks well of her personal backbone. That speaks well of her saying, I can't worry about the fact that lots of things in life are not going to be fair and right. I can only keep moving forward on the things that I believe are right for me. So she's continued. Whatever this is, she has a real sense of personal value, and she doesn't let anybody else tell her what her value is. I'm guessing he knows this about her. Is that why you like her so much? Does she exude some sense of self that you've found now? Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, in fact, she displayed something he had to go find in himself. That's partly what this was all about. He had to go and find the same thing that he saw in her that I don't think he possessed at that time. For him to come out as somebody so like feeling empowered now and feeling like he knows himself really well, I could understand that once upon a time, he may have looked at her personal strength and it made him realize he was like coming up short in his own way somehow. All of this just looks like, he needed it. He saw a truth, and the truth was he needed to kind of like get himself a little bit centered. I don't think he's the one that did her dirty at all. I think that instead she was a huge source of inspiration to him. Please remember, this could be same-sex couple, reverse gender roles, but he's definitely, done the work on himself to become the person that he is today. So if you know that you want to move toward her, you're single, she's single, or at least I assume she's single, right? She came across as that 9 of Pentacles, so I assume so. So Hermit, what is it that you're planning to do? By the way, they could both be earth signs just because he came out as a hermit. She came out as a 9 of Pentacles first, but we also had several major arcana for her. So, I don't want to stick to that exactly. We've got a 10 of Wands. So the thing that he might be about to take some action on is we see him trudging right toward the castle. We see him, the 10 of Wands is like laying down any final burdens. We see him, this could be him just getting his brave on, right? Page of Cups upright. He's trudging her way to bring in some kind of an offer. I don't feel like this would be an apology just because I don't see how he ever had an interaction with her where he's the one who did her wrong. He's more observed her somehow, like he's known of her. They could have interacted in like a non-romantic context. And this is him like no longer being intimidated or no longer just simply being inspired by her, but finally ready to approach her. This is like the first time he'll ever ask her out is what this feels like. Let me just ask, did you have any, or let me reframe that. What was your context with her in the past? Okay, so you didn't really give her much the time of day. We got a King of Pentacles in the reverse. We have the Knight of Wands upright. He might have thought she was hot, but didn't really offer anything, didn't try to lock anything down, didn't really get started on a romance. He might have known her in passing. I mean, I guess we could say he tried to date her, and maybe he is the one who did her wrong with that Justice card. I just don't really think that. Let me see. The Moon and the 10 of Swords. No, see, she never even knew that he was interested in her in the past, is the way I would see it. Or at least he says she didn't know that I was kind of in a wreck. I was in a mess. I was attracted to her, but I wasn't going to approach her back then. No way. I couldn't possibly have. I was a train wreck. Hang on. I want to ask, did she know any of this? Because sometimes what one person assumes the other one knows is not the way it is at all. Ace of Wands, 3 of Swords. I think she knew a lot more than what he is assuming. She knew he was attracted to her, and she also knew he was a hot mess at the time, right? The 3 of Swords. I knew he wanted to come toward me. I also knew that he was kind of mixed up at the time, kind of hurt, kind of going through something. I mean, all it takes is, one look and you read somebody's real expression. Our faces are very, very, very expressive. The same way, you read a dog's ears and tails and they tell you with their body language, if they're playful or if they're going into attack mode or if they're fearful, it's very visible once you learn to read things. And our faces are extremely expressive, and even the expression in our eyes. We don't have to use communication to convey everything about ourselves. We can be as transparent as a pane of glass. All it takes is one person to have sincere emotions and the other person to be astute enough to pay attention to the person they're looking at. And you can read them pretty easily. And I think in this storyline, she was really good at reading him. I'm not saying he's easy to read. Maybe her talent is that she can read things, a little clearer. You do have to be present if you're going to pick up on, what someone is going through or what they're not telling you, or, what their inner self is going through. We've got an Ace of Swords and this Knight of Swords. And for her, I feel like she didn't have any question at all in her mind about what was going on with him. She saw the truth of it. And if anything, she may have backed away from him, said, I don't want somebody who's lusting after me, but I can already tell is heartbroken because no way. Nope. You've got to fix what's broken. You can't start something with me. I think she ran away from him, knowing better not to get involved. And that would make sense for somebody who's a 9 of sacred circles. She would not look at somebody who she can see is wounded and has, like a need or like, I want this person, I need them in my life, but it's not because I'm ready to love them in return. She's not going to give, the best of her energy to someone who may or may not ever get themselves healed enough. She's somebody, doesn't mean she's not compassionate, but she's got a lot to offer, and she doesn't just offer it to anyone whenever they want it, when she can tell that they're not someone who's in a place where they can reciprocate. I just feel like it is a combo of self-respect, self-preservation. It doesn't mean she's not kind, but she's not somebody who's going to give people piggyback rides through life. And I'm guessing it's probably because she's been screwed over before, and she learned how to be compassionate and also how to have standards. We can help other people, but not foolishly. We can help other people, but not to the extent that we would lose, like everything that we have, to the point where we have nothing left. Sometimes we just get mooched off of if we do too much of that. So it's like, she would be compassionate and she has a ton to offer, but she also has the wisdom to know, the saying, like, teach a man to fish and, he can always feed himself. It would be better to assist people in helping them assist themselves instead of piggybacking a bunch of people on her back. And I think she learned that the hard way by maybe being significantly taken advantage of. And it didn't make her hard. It made her realize, I needed to love myself more. I needed to know I have value. So she learned that lesson. And I do think that her backing away from him was the evidence of, like, I can smell it on him. He is not, whole right now. He is wounded. So I'm going to back away. And I do think that he understood that about her. I think he saw that part of her. I think he understood some of that like, she has great self-respect. But what's interesting is he doesn't think that she knows what a mess he was in. He's convinced she didn't know what a mess he was in. Oh, she knew way more than what you think. So I think that that's an interesting, like, disconnect between him and her, as astute as he might be at this point, being, someone who's gone through the hermit's journey. But he's still missing that. You guys, thank you so much for giving this video a thumbs up. If you are enjoying the free content on the channel, thank you guys so much for visiting. I forget to say that, and I'm trying to get better at remembering. Thank you. It really does help the channel. In fact, it's the only way the channel can continue, the only way the algorithm will let videos circulate. So that simple little free action of giving a thumbs up really does help. If you didn't know that, it's great for any of the content creators that you might watch. Thank you guys so much for that. I'm trying to get better at remembering to say it. With that 7 of Cups upright, we've got the energy of confusion. We've got the energy of options, directions that life could take, but which direction will someone take? There's maybe this vibe of, I don't know, there's too many unknowns floating around in this at the moment. There was too many unknowns. There were too many unknowns. There still happens to be, because there's a bunch that he doesn't know about her as much as he assumes he does. This whole vibe that he's got, let me go back over here to him for a second. Princess of Discs. Yeah, he's only just now ready to really start connecting, which we already saw, because we had, this is the Page of Pentacles, just like this is the Page of Cups. Here they call it the Princess of Discs. But we have 2 pages here. So we already know he's ready to embark. He's ready to start journeying toward her as, like, a healed person at this point. So everything's going to be different. But this is like the first time he'll have been able to date her. The first time he'll have been able to approach her where he's not coming in heartbroken. Will she recognize the difference in him? Will she see the difference? Hanged Man sideways. She may be a little bit wary. She may be a little bit like, let me just, address this person and wait and see who they are. I think she'll be able to tell that something comes across as different as soon as he approaches her, but I don't see her taking any crazy leaps of trust, nor is she like fearful and holding back. Again, this is very much, I would just say, a wise feminine at this point who has learned, let people show you who they are. Don't make up fantasy stories in your head about who they are. Don't give people all of your trust when they haven't earned it yet. Don't assume everyone's operating from the same head and heart space that you are. It's okay to let people earn their way into your life, one, conversation at a time. We'll see if their actions match their words. I really see her not as fearful, but as somebody who's like, I don't know if somebody's going to have a place in my life or not yet. That takes time for me to figure that out. It's good that she's not leaping to give anybody, again, we have the Justice card. She's not leaping to give anybody her trust, but nor is she refusing to open up or give something an opportunity. And it's nice because this Justice card is quite a bit different than our first one for her. By the way, definitely, I mean, she could be a Libra, or, I mean, heck, he could be the Libra that's coming in that will be a real gift to her. It never really matters what zodiac someone is. It matters more what energy they show up in, at least for me. What attributes are they? Like, say he's got a Libra moon, and so he's showing up more in that emotional side, since our moon sign is more of like, who we are on the inside. Maybe he's showing up much more sincere in that energy. Maybe he's a Virgo but with a Libra moon. We could always look at it like that. That's why I never like to get too hooked on what zodiac they are, because that may not be how they're showing up for our characters. But right now, on her side, this is kind of like the leveling of the things that were unfair and wrong for her in the past that's getting to be balanced out. The Justice card is always about the scales. Right now we have two Justice cards, one that's pretty negative, where she had to withdraw, the other one where all of the birds and all of the messengers are, swirling around her, and all of the wild creatures are coming around her. This is like such a replenishing justice. So whatever she was, lacking in the past, whatever she lost in the past, he is coming in to replenish that in her life. I gotta say, I think he's a gift in her life, which is awesome, because remember, she was an inspiration to him as well. So without even knowing it, perhaps she gave him some kind of, like something to focus on. Remember, he had lust for her at one point in time, or interest in her. And she said, I can tell he's a mess. And she withdrew from him. He didn't, I don't think, go chasing her, but it might have been that, okay, she's not going to let me like try to soak up any of her energy to give, like, to patch me up. I have to actually go heal myself. I have to actually go fix myself. I have to do my own work. But I think having met her at all and been attracted to her and had her withdraw from him in the past, I think that was the best thing that could have happened, because it got him thinking about himself, but also more inspired by her. She's unavailable to me. She made herself inaccessible to me. And I understand why, because she got used up or hurt in the past, or maybe over the time that he's been on his hermit's journey, he's just come to understand a little bit more why she would have withdrawn from him, because she's known what it feels like to get used, and she's not going to let that happen anymore. And I do think that's why he's like, I can't go toward her unless I am all settled in myself, unless I know what I want, unless I can come in with a real offer. I can come in with something that is, respectful, something that is different. And I have to start slow. I don't just get to come in and be like, okay, we're going to date. This is how it's going to be. I have to start like one baby step at a time when I have something to offer. Start out with the page. The pages are the conversation, the emotional offer, followed by, true action, actually dating. It's nice to see a relationship that is seemingly going to start out with sincere interest and respect. Maybe before they would have loved to have had like a physical relationship with her, even though they weren't ready for a relationship at all. She didn't allow that, and she withdrew. But this is their approach in a whole different way. This is them coming in truthful and, respectfully, step by step. And that's exactly, I think, what she needs right now. Let me go back over to her. For her to have, like, finally something coming toward her, we have a Six of Wands. I think it will be like coming full circle. Instead of her feeling used like she did in the past and then having to put up boundaries, and then she could have accidentally slipped in letting herself get used even by them, but she didn't do it. She broke a pattern in her own life, stood up for herself, and instead basically required that somebody approach her at a respectful level where she can actually receive what she's worth and feel good about herself. And it does take a lot of self-confidence, and it also takes patience, and it also takes the ability to withdraw and say, no, even if I'm interested in this person also, and I think they're hot, I'm not doing this when I know they're heartbroken and all they're going to do is drain me. I can't do it. They have to be whole, and they have to come in and respectfully date me. They have to be ready to give to me. I'm not taking on somebody who, needs to be fixed. You have to fix yourself, just like I had to fix myself. I can be a friend to somebody, but I can't be the person who, is just waiting for them to someday be able to love me, and I give and give and give and get nothing back. I do feel like she took on that role. And although it was maybe kind of tough to have to play that role, so worth it in this story because she's being approached with respect. And I think she's feeling really good about herself with the way they are coming toward her, because it shows, oh, we got the Three of Swords in the reverse. She's like, he's not broken anymore. He's not coming toward me because he wants my energy. He's coming toward me because he likes me. He wants to offer me something. He realizes you would have to offer someone like me something because I deserve that too. I count too. Even if you've been heartbroken, I count also. You don't just get to, use my energy to make you feel good. You have to be whole enough to want to offer me something. And I can tell now he wants to. Now that's where we're at. He's not heartbroken. He's coming toward me because he likes me, not because he wants something from me. That is such, like, I'm so glad she can see it. I'm so glad he's approaching that way. This is like, oh, hallelujah. We rarely get stories like this. I feel like almost all the stories we wind up with are, someone's not ready. Someone needs to go get ready. They try to come back before they still are ready. There's always all this tension. Instead, this is like, absolutely no. She's been down that road before, and she wasn't going to let it happen to herself again. He respects her for it. And it actually pushes him to do the work on himself before trying to tango with her after all. That's pretty good. That's it's just nice to see that shift, that change. One more message on here. Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is, again, the action taking, where when our emotions are there, when our heart is there, when we decide what we want to pursue, we actually start, taking steps towards something that, we have an emotional investment in. Even if it's going to be a long journey, it's worth it to do it right. It's nice that that's what he actually did. But keep in mind, I think that the big message in this, if I were going to step back and say, what do I really see in this story? The big message is she did set the tone in this on one hand by not permitting, a physical connection or any kind of a situationship to begin, because she could tell right out of the gate, he's not here to give to me. He's wounded and he wants someone to make him feel good, and he's attracted to me, but I'm not here to supply your demand. If she had not been able to put that energy into this, that pause, that basically self-control for her own self, and set I'll say a parameter, probably this storyline would not have gone so nicely. So we have to say he found, the way to heal himself before tangoing with her, but it's because she had to put up a boundary with him. So I think it's just a good storyline about boundaries and about, when is it going to be most successful? What would make a relationship most successful? When two people respect themselves. That's what it says first to me. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. Calm C, AC, Violet. Hi, honey. Donji. Have a beautiful weekend also, honey. Tammy Johnson. Thank you, everybody. Hi, Roxanne. Oh, nice. Yeah, I love this backdrop. Oh, what a beautiful area you must live in. I love that. That's so nice, Roxanne. I'm glad you liked the picture. You were talking about the photo that I posted. Okay, I thought you meant this backdrop. Hi, Lulu. Oh, I don't know. I don't think it froze for anybody else. I still see the chat moving. I hope it didn't freeze for anybody else. Calm C. I hope it's back on. Hi, Lulu. AC, are you all tucked in bed? That's awesome. Takoria Bert, wonderful to see you. I love those butterflies. Thank you. Ash Cash, hi, honey. Chrissy's in the house. Denise is in the house. Oh, Chrissy, are you moving, hun? That's wonderful. I mean, it's hard work. Packing is always hard work. Or are you taking a trip? Whatever it is, I hope it's for something fun and wonderful. Angelina Davina, Stephanie D. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Right back to you. I appreciate you guys so, so much. Thank you again, Seashells. You were first in the house tonight. And sweet Carolina, it's such a treat to see you in a live. It's been a while. Hi, Cassie. Sweet dreams to you afterwards. Jessica H. Hi, honey. Thank you. All right, you guys, I'm going to tap on out. I did post the rest of the zodiacs. So we did get a Scorpio. We did Sag, Ophiuchus, Gemini, and Aquarius today, in case you were looking for those. And then over the course of this weekend, we will get one, if not two more videos out for the majority of zodiacs. I can't say all of them, but I'm going to really try to get two more for each zodiac. Oh, that's wonderful, Chrissy. Congratulations. Moving is fun but hard, but it's always so nice to like spread your wings in a new space. So I hope it's awesome. Oh, Calm C. Hey, I so sympathize with you. You guys know I have been struggling with my internet for a year and a half. It's just been, oh my gosh, it's been so terrible. And right now mine's a lot better. So I'm going to send good vibes to you also. And maybe like we'll all smooth out our internet collectively together. AC, yes, indeed. It was about time I get on the Aqua Gang Gang. Good night, Cassie. Sweet dreams, honey. All right, you guys. Good night. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Oh my gosh, Chrissy, I so agree with you. Yes. That's wonderful, though, that you're down for it. I've moved a lot in my life. I do like change, but oh my gosh, the older I've gotten, the more stuff I have. And so the more I have to move. And I'm like, wow, moving in my 20s was a lot easier than moving in my 40s. All right, take care. And I hope you have wonderful and easy time of packing. Bye, guys.